This is a man's world.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Single Man's Commission podcast. You're here with me, your favorite one of the two, Ridersi. This is Samuel, it does not matter. We're here with Apple. And this is our 19th episode.
Shut up.
We are approaching the 20th episode, where a year ago, in 20th of September, we put our first episode on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken.
On 21 or 22 of September this month.
September.
So, but we kind of recorded the episodes at August. So
Yeah, at August. It
August
took like
was
a month to produce the first episode because we were filming it on an iPhone, but we could not pass it to our non-Apple laptop, so Samuel's brother had to edit it through his phone, but he was being a bit lazy and took it very nonchalantly. And
we will mention on the difficulties on the 20th podcast.
Yes.
But today we have an interesting topic or topics.
Samuel saw a what if video on YouTube, and he decided, what if we did a what if video,
But
based on different things, whether it's movies or how different historical events could have gone differently had a site been different, if there was some political changes, economical changes, if
dinosaurs would not have
been extinct, for example,
or time travel
was possible.
But
So-
still, I opened my red notebook and I put my yellow notes.
Okay, stop talking like a fucking Russian.
Okay. Right now.
You
Oh,
don't sound
before
tough, you sound ridiculous.
yeah, before that, we would like to. We have company today.
Yes, our
We
friend
have
Andrew
Andre.
Show
He's come back
he's
from
in the
Saranda.
back stage here. In our 20th episode,
Не Z,
he will be here with us to talk about some things. Na episódio então me dizer que dois comentários que estás baixo para cá.
Si shkoj Sarandë.
Shumë mirë, Saranda. Po,
It was great.
We were asking about the job that he did in Saranda, drawing portraits and caricatures.
Turizmi
And,
rënje dhe shëndësie e madhe nga Saranda.
He's saying that the tourism has gone pretty, but I will put the subtitles
Yes.
later.
Because right now our brain is not really brainy.
And Andre has done a very good
Job
at this
magazine.
Yeah,
The caricature.
with caricatures.
Support him.
We'll put
Thank you.
we will put Andre's Instagram on our description so everybody can watch his
Content or
his
watch
content,
him.
or
If you
watch
like,
him, but don't watch him. We can watch his work, not him.
Watch his work on him. Okay, so let's start with the first what if.
Okay, the first what if it's been interesting and spicy. What if Albania wasn't governed by the communists for 50 years? The biggest plague ever that happened to Albania.
I mean, not necessarily, because as much as we dislike communism, it had some benefits. For example, even though most of it was done for propaganda and for the benefit of the party at the time, it helped with raising our population from 800,000 at the time to around 3 million. Not only that, before communism, after the Ottoman Empire collapsed and we became a sovereign nation, the illiterate percentage of the population was up to 95%. Like 95% of people in Albania was illiterate. Meanwhile, after communism, like only 5% of Albanians were illiterate.
No, but it's a difference. Too much.
No, well, at the very least we can read and write and have some basic comprehension of
How do you say it? Functional or unfunctional? How do you say?
Functional idiots.
Functional idiots. That's
Yes.
the term. We
Yeah.
say alphabetical in Albania. We have the word.
No, illiterate.
Illiterate. Yeah, illiterate
is,
Illiterate.
analphabet in Albania. Illiterate, like
Okay.
we couldn't write, couldn't read.
Yeah, and the
Also, the industrialization of the
Yeah.
country that happened at the time that were necessary for to run a country, an actual country.
Yeah, and 1950, Albania was the first electrified. Electricity first came
Yes,
in 1950.
we had the electrification of
Electrification of the
Albania,
Yeah.
of our country. We first started using electricity, but we were far beyond
Far, very.
industrialization, even compared to the eastern states that were engulfed by communism.
And for the topic that we have to make on what if that Albania wasn't governed by communists, we have to set some kind of conditions.
Okay.
For example, the first condition is that, as we know by history, I can put a link and you can see it for yourself. The elections were between the Socialist Party
Yes.
or the Working Party was called, and the Nationalist Front. In Albania, we say that the Balli Kombëtar.
Yes.
And guess what? The elections were rigged. 98% voted pro-communism.
Yes, if it just went to the nationalist front, if we had democracy in
Yeah.
Albania and we were enrolled in a capitalist system, how does that work out? Well, it's kind of hard to,
It's kind of hard.
to imagine it, not only because communism has been such a prominent part of our
Eastern
culture
world.
Eastern world, but
Eastern
even
world.
here in Albania,
Yeah.
to the point that even now, 30 something years after the communism
35.
system, 35 years
Yeah.
after the
Yeah.
communist system collapsed in Albania, it's still really ingrained in our culture because, as I said, since most of the population was illiterate, and communism is what brought us some sort of education system, Albania was still under the grip of the communist propaganda. Our art was influenced by communism, our schools, education
Sports,
system,
everything.
everything. So things were in the kind of disarray. So we'd have to assume that outside forces, just like in communism, because Enver Hoxha was not the one, or the Communist Party of Albania was not really the one to industrialize Albania. It was more so the Russian party
Yeah.
that helped a lot.
We had with Yugoslavia, with China,
with Russia, it was like the Eastern world.
Yeah.
We would have to assume that it would be the Western world
Yeah,
in this
that's
period of time that would help Albania reach some level of education. We would probably turn out more like a country like Greece.
Yeah, a country like Greece, but the thing is that I think that the outside powers, we call them just like USA, England, all the Western world, would watch the elections and not let the Communist Party put in jail all of the Nationalist Front.
Yes. And
So this and the other condition maybe could be that we had more exchange with the Western world. Because as soon as communism came, in Albania was the propaganda, they are the enemy and we
Yes.
will fight them. And later, guess what? We broke our alliance with Yugoslavia, they were the enemy as well. We
then
broke it
Russia
with
was the
Russia.
enemy. Then China was the
And
enemy.
in China, and in 1978, were the Albania versus the whole world, as was the propaganda, because we know that we were helpless against
Yes,
those kind of forces. We had a good kind of military at the time,
Yes,
but it was not
in
something to compete.
1978, Albania had this propaganda slogan that we will eat grass if necessarily, only so we don't have to extend
Yeah.
our hand to the enemy.
We eat the grass and we don't surrender.
Yes.
Bullshit.
Not only Albania was not under any attack, because we would have fallen pretty fucking quickly, because we
Yeah.
are far behind in what America or Western world
Western
had
world,
against
yeah.
us. It was just more so of a Cold War.
Yeah.
With the communism front, the Eastern communism front, and the Western
The-
capitalism front.
Yeah, and the other thing is that maybe it will turn out like Greece, but again, Greece had the luxury to till 2004 to have her own kind of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, drami. You
Yeah,
know?
we probably have our own
Yeah.
kind of money as well.
Yeah.
Most of
They have the
Albanian industry would have been
Yeah.
the tourism industry, just like Greece would have probably been a bit more advanced. Not, but really not so advanced as some of the most prominent countries of the Eastern world, like America, Canada, England, Germany,
In tourism,
France, or whatever.
if you would have invested, for example, 30 years ago in industry as we are investing right now, for example, we would be just like, we'll say Switzerland, but in kind of tourism just like Greece, for
Yes.
example, or Monaco, or we're not going
So
at that
pretty much
far,
the
but
same. Also, we would have had more religious. We would have been more religious, but we might have had more religious division,
yeah,
considering that this communism made this country completely atheistic.
1965.
And it was forbidden from being practiced, and the system kind of forced people to marry with people that were not of their own religious beliefs. We probably would have been more divided on that
A
front.
little bit. We say even in Albania there are some kind of
Yes,
it's a cold
religiously
war, yeah, but
extremists. But it's very rare.
it's very rare. In
we
Albania,
have
we don't mind.
we have a really good religious harmony, we would say.
For example, my grandpa from my mom was Muslim, and my grandma from my mother was Orthodox. So
Yeah,
it was no
The
problem.
same situation as my parents. My father is Muslim, my mother is
Yeah, but it was
Orthodox
no kind of
Christian.
families wouldn't have just like I will not marry this. You shouldn't marry because she is Orthodox or Muslim. We don't have this kind of issues. There are in some places, but as we say, there is no forest without pigs.
Yes.
And maybe it would turn out a little bit better if we would have more.
Perhaps.
Yeah,
Quite
a little
possible.
bit better, but we will never know.
Yeah.
That's the
it's one of
shame.
the things you can't know.
Okay, now we go to one of the spiciest of today. What if Nazis won the World War II?
Yeah, everyone would be fucked.
Simple as that?
It's simple as that. Consider Nazism is already one of the worst political systems that you
Yeah.
can be under. Not only you don't really have a free reign in terms of a free market, everything has to be government approved.
Yeah.
You will have this propaganda where you will be tried for anything and you will be thrown to jail or perhaps even executed for any beliefs that you might have against government.
there is
Also
no-
the genocide of anybody that is not considered an Aryan race.
Yeah.
Anybody who would help them.
For your information, Hitler didn't kill only Jews.
Jews,
He killed the people from Africa. He killed all the
anybody who wasn't
Yeah.
white.
who wasn't white and sexually kind of. He killed a lot of homosexuals.
Yes,
and
what they would call sexual deviance.
Yes,
So it would be a fucking mess.
it would be a fucking mess. Still, we need to. If Nazis would win the World War II, we need to set the condition that the other powers, which will not never happen, will stay silent. For
Yes.
example, they would let Hitler invade England.
Yes.
Besides,
So basically, Hitler would invade the world, perhaps not the Americas.
yeah, they would because it's too much work to fight in America because it's far away from Germany. But still, we know that Hitler had the Grey Wolves, were called submarines.
Yes.
The most powerful legion of submarines was called, and he
We
was
would
just like
probably not be doing this podcast right now. We
Yeah.
would probably be working in camps. This motherfucker would be that, you Jewish cunt. Just joking. He's not really Jewish, and
No.
I'm not really. It's just a in between
Nickname.
joke.
yeah, and you would be killed as well. But
Oh yes, I'm kind of too dark to survive the Aryan supremacy. Whatever the fuck that is.
do you think that would be more poor? It would be under
Well,
Nazis?
Yes, hyper centralized systems tend to leave the country or whatever land that they have poor because you don't really have circulating economy.
Yeah, it's not circulating. At the end of the day, all the power it would be just like in World War II. It would not only be on Hitler.
The more rules,
The main five guys.
Listen,
control
California,
everything.
the California state in America, for example, is one of the most profitable
Countries?
places in the world. Yes, it's like top 5 most profitable places. It has one of the most
Even today?
GDPs. Yes, even today.
In that condition?
Yes. What happened is that things are so regulated now in California that it's basically impossible for people like a fucking bathroom stall goes up to $1 million fucking dollars. It's literally impossible to build anything there. So the rent goes more up. People just go homeless.
Yeah.
Then they go into drugs, and every drug is illegal there. So that's a huge problem.
Huge problem. What do you think about in America the NPCs or the guys that are telling that we would like to try the Nazism regime?
There's actual idiots.
Yeah, a lot. We should try that because right now America is going to shit. And was one comment, one guy, yeah, it's going to shit because of you.
Stop that. Get some help.
Serious help, not help, serious help.
Like things like Nazism or even communism. I hear people discussing about how communism would be better. Ew. Anything that has to be forced will never fucking work. Get this through your head. Human beings are selfish and work through the gratification of rewards. So when you take rewards away, when you take away the desire, so to speak, for things to get better and get improved, then people don't get improved. We are selfish beings. There is no human on planet Earth that is actually 100% altruistic.
No.
The people that are sometimes the people that are the most altruistic, we call them people pleasers, and that's
or the nice guys.
Yes,
another term.
Because they are so insecure in themselves that they have to do everything that other people want. Nobody just does everything right for everyone else all the time for no reason. There is clearly something to be gained.
If you know the 1984, the book by George Orwell,
Yes.
maybe if not this one will be something like that. Everything would be a tyranny. A tyranny that
it's quite frankly tyranny.
It's not individual anymore. It's just you are one another number. If you read the book, they were just numbers and no names anymore.
Exactly.
Nothing belongs to you.
Okay.
So that's,
we wrapped up the topic.
We wrapped up, and please don't support Nazis.
Don't support Nazis.
Take
not
help.
Communists, not fascists, nothing.
Nothing.
Please.
Okay, the other topic. It's interesting. What if USA decides to invade all the continents? If they lost their mind, they just order.
Whatever they do, they stop at Russia and China. Whatever they do.
There is the border.
Yes.
Not England, not Germany, not France.
Well,
not France.
They would probably not really fight with Canada. They would probably become a unified nation because they're pretty much the same
Mexico
nation.
would not be problem, or all the little continents, Puerto Rico, Cuba, no problem.
Like if they used guerrilla tactics, they could have probably fucking invaded both of the Americas.
Yeah.
When you go through Europe, it's going to be a bit hard to try and invade countries such as Germany or England or France or the countries with the most GDP and the most military forces. Turkey would be a bit of a problem, but they could take it down. They stop at Russia and China because they are fucking overpowered, just like America is. Like, I think that Russia might have more nukes than America.
Maybe. You know, the nuke problem is that everyone says we have it, but the only way to know it is to try them. But if we try,
we're fucked.
We're fucked, and we need to live in Mars, because Earth will not be possible anymore.
Yes.
And the first man in Mars is David Goggins, so.
Yeah, he will be carrying the love.
He will carry all the ships. Yeah, love to the guy. And you think that the border will be Russia?
Yeah,
or
Russia,
maybe Germany or France?
Russia and China. Germany and France would put up some
good fights.
Some good fights. That's that's thinking that they would not actually employ the rest of the world and create alliances. But I think that if a country like America would decide to invade the world, a quick alliance would be formed from everyone because it's a huge threat.
Do you think that it will be a problem for Albania? We can.
We're not
surrender.
A factor. We're not even a factor.
We think we are.
But we're
Believe me, there are people who think that we are
Yes.
the center of the universe, but
No, we're not.
we're not. And another thing, I think I have it again with USA. What if USA tells the world about alien life species? What will be the reaction? What will happen around the world?
Well, I'm pretty
First
sure
2
that,
weeks.
Well, people inside it might incite some sort of civil war, because
Why?
if the government says that we have been holding aliens hostage, or we've had contacts with the aliens. First of all, the most extremist sides of the conspiracy theories rhetorics, usually on the right, that deal with things like
Moon landing.
aliens and moon landing and shit like that, will become really aggressive in trying to spread their rhetoric.
Yeah.
And people that are
Yes.
a bit more science-based might be like, well, perhaps it's not that, but then there will be this fear created, because what else is the government not telling us? Which is pretty much what you see going on in America right now. And even more so than that, the fear of aliens would also incite panicking, because it's one thing to not really be sure, because then you can just say, oh well, it's
It's a
probably
what if.
nothing,
Yeah,
it's a what if. But if you're 100% sure that there is some species out there so advanced than us that they have made contact with us before we could make contact with them, it might incite fear, because I heard Neil deGrasse Tyson say this. We usually depict aliens as invaders because we usually think of them as the worst part of us. Because what has happened in the world,
Yeah.
usually the most advanced civilizations have invaded less advanced civilizations.
And the fact is that the culture, the mainstream culture, the cinematography, for example,
Yes.
it depicts them as invaders.
Because that's how
On
we
the
view
last
ourselves.
years, you should see a movie called Signs.
Yes.
I think it's Joaquin Phoenix, very young in that movie.
Yes.
And in that it was another kind of approach, because if you see the movie, there is just like aliens trying to give signs to humans that we are here, but at the end of the movie they become invaders. It's kind of like, again, trying a different approach, but still it goes there. And another thing is that it would be chaos, not civil war, but chaos, because people, if you see the COVID kind of situation,
Yes, yeah.
people were very, very
We
afraid.
lost our mind over a virus. Imagine if
Imagine.
alien invaders that we have no
And,
idea.
It's a theory.
Hollywood.
It's a theory, conspiracy theory. You don't want to hear it. It's kind of was not too much conspiracy, because it was called the Blue Beam Project, and it was just like the governments or the USA and Russia would cooperate to make holograms of UFOs to be visible to all the people,
Yes.
and people would be very scared. They would surrender every kind of right to the government.
Yes.
And the government from there has total control. They would make a scene just like we talk to them, and they would leave. They will not do anything because we have nukes. And later, all that power will stay, and they would become just like 1984. Maybe it's not too much conspiracy as this what if. We don't know. We only know what happened during COVID.
Yes.
People had
People
all the
lost their
belief.
shit, yes.
They lost their shit and had all the belief that government loves us. They will take care of us. They will give us the vaccines. They care for us.
When shit goes down, people tend to turn to the most gracious source, let's say,
Yeah,
to
or
the
the
people
most
that promise the
Easy
best.
or to most easy accessible kind of source.
People want to feel protected, and the governments promise that.
Yeah. For
That's
example,
basically it.
here in Albania we say that government loves us, USA loves us. Every time we say everybody
The
loves
USA does not care about us.
Yeah, they care only if we.
They don't care about us. They don't care about us.
They're not like us.
Oh, and
We're not like.
that's a hugely different topic. Please don't speak on hip hop. You got no authority.
We would still make what ifs again in the future, and then we would make a what if the
Yes.
Kendrick Lamar situation. But it's a what if that you would have a lot to discuss. You have to discuss even right now, but don't go there, please.
I'm not doing that.
You don't go there because you're not coming back.
Yes.
Oh,
Now, next
and,
what if? Shoot.
So if USA decides chaos, civil war, we agree.
Might. And not
Might.
to a civil
Yeah,
war,
it's
but
a what if.
there is going to be chaos. There is going to be
Yeah.
chaos.
Okay. Just like in the movies.
Yes. Next
Okay.
topic. Shoot.
Next topic. Okay. What if Heath Ledger didn't die?
Oh.
Would we had him in Batman Dark Knight Rises or the Batman 3?
There were probably he was probably going to be there, like the ending of the Dark Knight. Kind of implied that Joker would be for a third film. Unfortunately, that never happened, as we know, because Heath Ledger fucking died. We would probably see. He would have been. He already cemented himself as one of the greatest actors of his generation.
He would be
would have-
present to
yeah.
win the Oscar.
Yes, he would be present to win the Oscar, and we would have seen greater movies.
You think that he would be maybe the best actor in Hollywood if he continued?
One of the best, sure.
One
One
of
of the
the-
best, of
I'm
course.
not on the best of the best. That's
Yeah, he would have been one of the best of the best.
With his dedication and what we
I
saw.
mean, like, I kind of saw this video and I sort of agreed with it. That said, Joker in The Dark Knight is not that well written. It's just that
His
Heath
performance.
Ledger's performance is so good
Yeah.
that you love him.
And the thing is that fun facts, if you see behind the scenes of Dark Knight, you see that sometimes Heath Ledger improvises and he himself decided I want to do the costume, the makeup, everything he wanted to do for himself. For example, it's one scene that he goes to that girl Rachel and said let's put a smile on that face.
Yes, and she's terrified.
All that scene is improvised.
Yes,
Not improvised, but he would not come as close to her face to face.
yes.
And if you see the view of
Look
the
at-
actor,
yes.
the look of the actor, she's looking at Nolan, but Nolan was just like
Yes,
he
go
was
on.
he,
Let him do his
fucking
thing.
impressed.
Of course, of course.
It's at the end of the day the performance was good, and you think that he would be in Dark Knight Rises? Some people,
Quite possibly, yes.
some people.
He was the most
theorize-
beloved part of the film.
Yeah, he theorized. Some people theorize that he would make an alliance with Bane. Again, a good performance by Tom Hardy,
Yes.
and we think that it will be a better.
We can only imagine.
We can only imagine. Again, in movie section, we have what if Christian Bale and DiCaprio would play in the same movie together? What kind of movie would it be?
We would possibly love the movie. It might have been perhaps not like a superhero movie. It would have been something a bit more realistic, I'd say.
Martin Scorsese type of.
Like a Martin Scorsese or a Christopher
Christopher
Nolan
Nolan.
film.
I would like to see them in Tarantino movie.
Yeah,
Together.
yeah. It'd be because Tarantino has this. He puts his characters in crazy situations, and both these actors have played in characters with
In
with
messed up
crazy
situations.
yes. Like Christian Bale, of course, you got movies like
American Psycho.
American Psycho or
Batman.
not really Batman.
You have
because-
you have the Machinist, which
The Machinist.
which he shredded 60 kilos.
or the movie with Hugh Jackman,
The Prestige.
The Prestige.
Batman versus Wolverine. Magic.
with magic tricks. Crazy.
Crazy, and imagine that movie wasn't awarded with anything. You have also Christian Bale as in film Vice in the movie. He plays the vice president of George Bush, the young George Bush, and what happened at 9/11.
Yes.
And he was all the brain behind the Bush administration. And it's a good movie.
He's one of the greatest actors
But
of his own generation.
DiCaprio has worked with more kind of directors, and he knows, like he worked with Spielberg, with Scorsese, with Tarantino, with Nolan.
Yeah, he is
He
a
is-
higher. He has a broader rate.
Yeah, but I think that ego would come a little bit because
Mhm.
you
Like-
have the two pillars.
Yes, of
And it would be
Mara,
just like-
yeah,
Would be a little bit,
quite possibly.
or they would fight each other. For example, in American Psycho, all the actors hated Bale because if you messed up the scene, because he wanted one shot,
Yeah.
if you messed up the scene, he would go like crazy.
Oh no, it wasn't American Psycho. It was Terminator.
The Terminator?
Yeah, it was Terminator 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, where that infamous screen. I might be wrong though, but I'm pretty sure it's that.
And they hated him because he's a method actor.
Method actor. Yeah.
Method actor as DiCaprio as well.
Yes.
It would be,
Yeah,
Kind
it'd be different.
but I think it would be maybe a thriller or action. Not fantasy, because
No, more like a psychological thriller.
psychological.
Either a psychological thriller or an action Tarantino.
The only glimpse we saw, for example, if it's a movie Public Enemy, it's Christian Bale versus Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp is the villain. It's a movie with mafia gangs and
Oh, I
Christian
haven't.
Bale is a cop or a detective. And that's a glimpse of two very good actors cooperating very good with each other. If you haven't seen the movie,
Don't
watch
worry.
the movie.
Yeah.
Watch the movie, it's good. So we
Next.
say that it will be a good movie.
Of course.
Of course. Okay. Now you want the anime section?
Should?
Okay. The first one. What if Madara never died by the hands of Kaguya/Zetsu?
Well, the story would have made more sense, because why the hell?
What did you have in your mind, Kishimoto? What?
Like, first
You
of all,
smoke weed?
Zetsu ain't even touching Madara without disintegrating, because he's weak as shit, as to what has been established at that point. Also, the Rinnegan eyes sort of give you this universal awareness,
Yeah.
and you could have said like, oh well, he had his guard down, but like, come on, he was fully aware that he was going to fight two beings with six past powers that can counter his powers. One of those guys had Rinnegan, and the other one had like a
Seven-tailed beasts,
yes
abilities and chakras. So he.
So he was going to fight those two guys. Why would he have his guard down? Especially after he had noticed that Sasuke could teleport and change places with objects and try to get him from behind. That would have never happened.
And he has.
Also, this entire story that Black Zetsu wrote the entire history of Naruto just
bullshit.
bullshit.
And the thing is that if you see, the problem was that when the Infinite Tsukuyomi activated,
Yes.
if you see, Sasuke does his Susanoo, so they weren't affected and they were afraid and with their guards up,
Yes.
but still Madara had
The upper hand.
the upper hand against them.
That's because Kishimoto wrote himself into a corner and now he wanted to get out of that corner, but he made up some bullshit instead of trying to be a good writer.
Maybe if he'd done a movie with Kaguya after that,
Yes.
it would be very nice,
Yes,
or
like
another type of series.
like the movie where the movie that happened in the moon, if it happened with Kaguya.
The last movie, Naruto
Yeah.
Shippuden.
Yes.
A little bit bullshit.
Which happened in the moon because Kaguya was said to be imprisoned in the moon.
Yeah.
It would have made more sense. Come on, it's there.
And the thing is that it would be good by Madara to die by the hands of Hashirama, for example.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
it happened one time. So.
At that point in the story, Hashirama would have not competed with Madara.
Or maybe to die by hands of Kakashi, Sasuke, and Naruto.
Yes, if Madara should have been the final villain. Point
fi-
blank period.
You don't think that should have been the final fight between Naruto and Sasuke? It was necessary, or
Oh no, it was necessary, but like the final villain, because
Yeah.
Sasuke wasn't trying to be a villain.
no? It's just the clash of the two main protagonists. It's
Yeah,
like Goku and
it's just a
Vegeta.
clash of, at that point was just like a clash of ideologies and philosophies.
Yeah, and we say that he's, I don't know, one guy said in Reddit, I've heard that the reason that he invented Kaguya as a character
Yes.
was only for the reason that Kishimoto couldn't find a weakness for Madara. He wrote Madara too powerful and with no weaknesses, besides peeing in front of people
Yeah.
when he was a little child.
Like make him drink water then, I guess.
Or Or maybe just saying that the villain has a weakness. If they found a weakness for Frieza, we can find a weakness for Madara.
Kaguya was stated to be even more powerful than Madara.
And they had it more easy with her.
Yes, and they were able to beat her like.
The only good thing giving Kakashi to Sharingans, but still
DMS Kakashi.
DMS Kakashi was good, but still
He was still way too overpowered.
too overpowered and drained after that.
Yes.
And
just contrivance after contrivance after contrivance
And-
to try and make
and
sense out of a story that.
I hated the fact that they made Obito hero after being the villain for
Yeah.
500 episodes and making him a good guy for 2 minutes. Because guess what? The most powerful jutsu in Naruto is Tok no Jutsu. Guess what?
Yes.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it was garbage.
Okay,
Okay, the
so
other one?
the other what if was, what if Gohan
Yeah.
would have come to fight Kid Buu in Kai's planet?
Yeah. He would have decimated Kid. Like.
He would have decimated him,
Well, listen. Gohan was able to fight on par with Super Buu.
which is a stronger version, you think?
Yeah, Super Buu is the strongest out of the base Boos. Like you
Yeah.
got Evil Buu and Good Buu, you got Kid Buu, and you got Super Buu. Super Buu is Evil Buu, Good Buu absorbed.
Yeah, and
Now
more
Kid
powerful.
Buu had nothing of that.
Yeah,
He was
pure
just
evil.
his purest form. He didn't
The
have
purest form.
those energy ants.
Or the original form of Buu.
yes.
If we say if we see flashbacks, he's the original Buu, and with merging with that Supreme Kai, I think, or the Grand Kai, the fat one,
Yes.
it became Fat Buu.
So Super Buu is the strongest.
I've seen in Reddit people saying that Kid Buu would have beat Buuhan, the Buu with never,
hell no.
never.
Hell no! Buuhan at that point of the story not only had like the Super Buu,
Yeah,
the normal Buu absorbed, but he also had absorbed Gotenks, a fused fighter.
Gohan.
He had absorbed Piccolo and
Piccolo and
Gohan.
yeah.
And Gohan is stated to be the strongest
Z Fighter.
Z fighter, the strongest Z fighter non-fused.
Yeah.
So, like, it's Vegito, then it's Gohan.
Yeah. And
Think people.
do you think it was trash that Vegeta and Goku decided we'll fight him, but we'll not fuse with each other because we are too proud?
Yes, it's garbage.
Just to make our ancestors proud.
Science are idiots. Science are fucking idiots.
And the thing is that it was bullshit. You remember in the fight when Goku couldn't transform Super Saiyan 3 anymore because he was drained?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah, and at that time they were wishing that the Earth would be restored, all the people would be revived by
Yeah.
Namekian Dragon Balls. And at that time Goku said to Vegeta, the third wish is to bring Gohan, Gotenks and Piccolo come fight with us. No, it's time for Spirit Bomb. Because guess what? The Earth should save herself.
Itself.
Itself.
Itself. Come on.
Itself, sorry.
Objects or groups. Her, female. He, male.
It's
Come
not-
on.
But it's Mother Earth.
You get shut up! This
But-
is what I have to do.
Yeah, they said that Earth should save itself one time.
Yes.
It was bullshit, because if they put Gohan, Gotenks and Piccolo there,
You live on Earth, motherfucker. What the fuck are you talking about?
it's more better idea than getting Spirit Bomb and waiting 20 more episodes.
Yeah, of course.
So Gohan
They
would have
gotta
decimated. Would have decimated Kid Buu, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we go right now. Yeah, we took most of the subjects. Okay, what if dinosaurs never went extinct? So we say that dinosaurs exist because we have one kind of theory that all is improvised. All the skeletons, all the thing is
They
improvised.
exist. Now,
Existed. 'Cause they don't
Existed,
exist
yes.
anymore.
well, it's millions of years before the
Humanity.
formation of humanity, like the evolution of humanity. I mean, there would have probably been species that it's kind of hard
It's hard.
to see how they would have evolved, because it's completely possible they probably would have not evolved, Considering crocodiles as a species have been around since the dinosaurs for like millions and millions of years.
And we know crocodiles are scary and dangerous.
Yes, so they didn't necessarily need to evolve. But if the dinosaurs hadn't gotten extinct, like there's a couple of theories like the Earth got colder,
Yeah, the frozen age time.
the Ice Age.
Yeah, and the ice age, something like that.
So no,
They
no,
say-
it's before that it's like meteors. Like
yeah, there are some theories. Some say they died during the ice age. Some say that it was a meteor that.
some others say a great volcanic eruption around the world. It's unclear, so it's something I would not like to tackle. I even told you, like when you go so far back in history,
Yeah,
there the variables that you have to keep track of just get added more and more and more and more and more. To
yeah,
the point like you're looking at an equation with 500,000 different variables.
yeah. But for example, not all the dinosaurs. We're talking about T-Rexes that were just like
Yes,
too much bigger, but some kind of flying dinosaurs, for example, or some sea dinosaurs. If you've seen this type of,
I don't know.
Species?
Yeah, I
Different.
kind of have an idea.
We'll
because
not
I'm
cooperate.
that well versed in dinosaurs, but like evolution is a bitch. So
Yeah,
it's kind of
evolution.
hard.
yeah. Okay, last two topics. We have what if time travel could be possible? Okay, so as Avengers Endgame said, Back to the Future is bullshit.
Well, Avengers Endgame has bullshit time travel mechanics as well.
Yeah, bullshit,
Well,
but
it depends.
we stay on the
Like
joke.
if you have a causal loop, basically means the timelines remains fixed no matter what the time travelers do.
Yeah,
If you go back in time, you cannot really affect the future.
yeah, or just like in Dragon Ball again, that Future Trunks thought if he would change the past, he would change the
Yeah,
future.
but that's a separate timeline. The causal loop timeline means that there is one timeline,
Yeah.
and there's only going to be one timeline, and there is not going to be deviation. So if you have this straight line,
Yeah,
okay, this is point A, this is point
Point
B, okay, and then there is point C, and from point C is determined that it's going to be point C, regardless if you go from point B to A and try to change things, because things are not going to change. It's still going to
Yeah.
be the same.
in
If you go with the Trunks theory, it's
Yes.
not timeline. It's not time travel. It's just multiversal.
multiverse creation.
Yeah, multiversal
'Cause
shifting.
He thought that by changing the past,
You
giving
can change the
Goku,
future.
saving Goku, he would change the future. But that kind of timeline had Goku, and his timeline didn't have Goku.
Yeah, it's like more of a multiversal terrain.
Yeah, yeah.
Travel.
Yeah, in
You can have time dilations. For
Yeah.
example, if you go back to the past, you can create a separate timeline.
Yeah, and if you see also in Dragon Ball Super, they made the multiverse thing real because if you see in Zamasu art, they had
Yes.
the time rings and they were just
Yes, time dimensions.
time dimensions rings, and the rings were just multiplying. So by doing one action, you will multiply the.
Yeah, the
For example, if one guy travels to the past and kills Hitler,
yes,
the Hitler in his current timeline
yes.
still done those kind of horrible things, but that timeline would have no Hitler. That's
That's the difference.
the difference. So we say that again. Professor Holt say if you travel to the past becomes your future, but it's not too good logic.
Yes.
Please, no more multiverse in Marvel. Please,
It's got money.
and change
Last one.
and
Come on.
change Doctor Doom's
Let's
acting.
finish this. Bitch. Come on.
Okay, the last thing. Last one. What if Adam and Eve didn't eat the fruit?
We'll be living in a paradise. End of story.
It's not that simple. Because, for example, one
Theory.
kind of observation is that Adam and Eve didn't stay in Eden for like 3 days.
Yes.
A theory says that they lived there for 150 years, which was a long time. And they had the time to know all the parts of Eden and to understand all of how the functions, because you have the tree of life.
Yes.
There was the tree that would give you immortality or eternal life, and you had the tree of knowledge of the good and evil. And another fun fact, the devil or Satan or however you call him was part of Eden. If you look at the Bible, they say that he was the most beautiful
Angel in the sky.
not angel but the cherubim. It's beyond angel.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
is the one of the highest
Okay.
ones, and he was one of the kind of the most beautiful light bearer there.
Okay.
And the theory is that the thing that they got banished from Eden, the theory says is because they knew what would happen very well, and because they lived there for so long, and they rejected that and they still ate it. Another theory is that the only one to blame is Eve, because Adam knew the consequences, but he loved Eve so much that he decided to
I mean,
Do it,
he
still
could
do
ask
it.
God for another woman. So
maybe,
he is at fault as well.
Maybe. It's another kind of theory, but if you look at one podcast, our good colleague Chris Williamson had a podcast with a guy called Alex Connors, and he mentioned was like Gnostic Gospels. There were some Gospels found in a desert, I don't know where, and it said that in those, it's one Gospel, it's called the Gospel of Truth. And that Gospel, it has a theory, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yes.
It's a theory. I will put the link so you can watch the podcast. I want you to listen. Is that the snake at the garden is not Satan,
What is it?
Jesus Christ. You know why? 'Cause-
Self-fulfilling prophecy?
no, it's the reason that, as he puts it, or the theory puts itself, is that the God that made the earth is not the same God that made the universe. Because God, the Almighty God, doesn't have to do with he doesn't have can't say intervene in mortal
He
affairs.
doesn't want to intervene.
Yeah, he's not necessary for him. So the God that made the Eden was just kind of one of the watchers that he made.
Yeah.
And it's because they say that they see some kind of jealousy stuff there, that why should man have eternal life and know the good and evil. They go in those loops, that God didn't want that. You see,
Well,
it's messed
stressing.
up. It's messed up a little
Yes.
bit as a theory, because why Jesus Christ made a prophecy that because it said that the woman you will bite the woman's heel and she will kick your head.
Yes.
For example, and he cursed the snake. So it doesn't make sense that the snake is Jesus Christ and Jesus Christ comes to save humans. It doesn't make
It's
sense.
a self-fulfilling prophecy, perhaps that they try and play here, but it requires this
Huge stretching of logic that.
Yeah, it's a
doesn't
huge
make sense.
stretching, so I will put the podcast, you can listen to the whole theory more detailed, more kind of. So at the end of the day there are what ifs,
And
we don't know.
Yeah, like moral of the story is don't be overthinkers like us.
Don't be overthinkers and just enjoy life.
Enjoy that. Anyway, we come to an end. Like, comment, share, subscribe.
and stay tuned.
See you guys.
This is a man's world. This is a man's world.